UFC Rio, these are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on this card. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video too. And also note, I will be live for the entire card Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss the fight companion. And let's get into the first fight of the night. Simon Oliveira versus Luan Lacerda, a battle of letdowns. All right. Both of these guys without a win in the octagon. 0-2 Lacerda, 0-3 Oliveira. This is not some redemption fight on the road to contendership for either. But I do think that Luan Lacerda is better. I think he's got a little bit more upside. I'm going to pick him. He's a submission ace for the most part. Both guys are, but Luan Lacerda seems to be a bit better at wrestling offensively. Got pretty solid striking from the outside, not blow you away kickboxing, but he's got some speed on his body kicks. He attacks with nice teeps from range, brings some good straight punches. He also is going to be the taller guy, 3-inch height advantage in the spot. Yeah, he doesn't have the reach advantage, but with the legs, I'm sure he can touch up Oliveira a bit from distance before they probably clash on the inside. I think Lacerda could hit takedowns. He was able to land takedowns against Cody Stamann. I think that Luan Lacerda's game is a bit more well-versed than Simon Oliveira. He's a Nova União prospect. There's got to be some hope for him to get a UFC W. He was actually expected to be a legit player in the bantamweight division upon his arrival. Lost to Cody Stamann, which at the time, nearly 3 years ago, not the worst loss. Then Damon Blackshear beat his ass. Hasn't fought in 2 years, 4 months. The red flag around it is he has been out for a long while. Okay. Now, on the opposite side, Simon Oliveira, he actually had a bit of a layoff until 6 months ago, where David Martinez knocked him out in the first round. Okay. So I have a guy who hasn't fought in a while, and I have a guy that's been, getting his ass kicked consistently. I think Luan Lacerda is going to have the better takedowns. I think he's better at top game jiu-jitsu, and I feel like he's the better striker. Simon Oliveira is chinny, a little reckless on the feet. I don't know. His defense is kind of mediocre, to say the least. I say he's definitely defensively flawed. A little bit of like a upright and stiff striking style with the Brazilian Muay Thai flow. He'll come inside and like close the gap with shots, but the chin tends to come up and the head rarely moves. Now, I don't think Lacerda is the most aware boxer ever. I'm not so crazy about him dropping a big overhand right on Simon Oliveira or anything like that. But I think you could touch him on the feet and then get on top and potentially win this fight by submission and a bit of a sloppy back and forth. But both guys good at jiu-jitsu. We could see the grappling cancel out on both sides, which I think is interesting, though I do think Lacerda is the better wrestler, and I see him on top. I could see Lacerda landing decent punches. I think Lacerda to get it makes a lot of sense. Does he finish it? I could see it on the cards. He's got a lot of wins by sub, but on the opposite side, Simon Oliveira's game is submissions too. 11 wins submission, never been submitted. Brain leans towards Lacerda decision, though I could see him catching Oliveira with like a knee in the clinch, or an elbow in range, or even a big overhand shot, though he's not really known for the boxing. I think Lacerda is just more dangerous striking, and with better top control and takedowns, should be a threat throughout the fight to get to a dominant position, which should open things up on the feet. Lacerda, minus 240 on the money line. Oliveira, plus 205. I think we got to win for Lacerda, though I feel like both of these guys could easily be cut from the UFC. Over 1.5, minus 160. I'm not crazy about it when you got Simon Oliveira, but I lean towards it as possible. If Lacerda can start fast, but dude, he doesn't knock anybody out. I'm talking about he might get a KO. He doesn't knock people out. 10 wins by sub. We got the battle of submission aces. This right here is a bad fight, dude. This is just one of those matchups that doesn't make sense. Because they're both Brazilian, there's some Brazilian privilege that they're still in the UFC fighting. But I think it's very easy to say both these guys should be released. Loser definitely leaves town. I mean, goddamn, 0-3 for Oliveira. I'm surprised they didn't cut him after that David Martinez fight. But here he is now. I'll pick Lacerda. My God, low level, but the pick of Lacerda makes more sense to me. Next one, ladies. Julia Polastri versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I'm gonna predict that Julia Polastri wins a competitive decision. But I must say, looking at the odds in front of us, I'm confused by that. Like, we're really celebrating Julia Polastri for winning the third round against Lupe Godinez, for a split decision win against Corey McKenna, and for doing fairly well against Josephine Knudsen, who got cut from the UFC. Polastri seems to be a good prospect with a lot of potential, fast timing, your good timing, I should say, with fast punches, power on her straights. I would say overall her kickboxing's nice, attacks the legs pretty well, comes forward with confidence, aggressive for sure. One of those girls that will press forward without much of a fear of opponent's offensive output. And especially in a matchup like this, it makes sense because striking wise, Kowalkiewicz, a bit of a pillow puncher. All right. She really doesn't have heavy shots. She's got volume, but there's really not a lot on them. They're peppering punches. Kowalkiewicz is nearing 40 years of age. She's got to be past their prime at this point. She's lost 2 fights in a row, albeit the competition is decent. Lucindo and Denise Gomes, both very good Brazilians. Julia Polastri, a good Brazilian prospect, not nearly as proven as Gomes or Lucindo, but I feel like she can do enough here. I can see her cracking Kowalkiewicz and rocking her. I can see her walking her down, getting in top position, winning the grappling exchanges. I see Polastri out-dogging Karolina Kowalkiewicz and taking home a clean win. But Kowalkiewicz could hit some takedowns, maybe against the cage and a counter. We've seen Polastri on her back before, but I don't see Kowalkiewicz like holding her down and strangling her or locking up some type of armbar. I feel like even if Kowalkiewicz gets her down, and I'm not saying she's a high-level wrestler, she's not a great wrestler. I just don't think Polastri is going to be bullied on the ground. I like the pressure heavy striking attack with an ability to grapple on Polastri's side, though she does give up some takedowns over the side of a 39-year-old Kowalkiewicz who really lacks power. I feel like Polastri is due for a win in this one, and I'm going to pick her. But looking at the betting lines, it's just crazy wide to me. Minus 450 is wild. At open, it was 4-1. Like, yes, it makes a lot of sense for her to win, but damn, you're paying the goddamn piper here. Plus 350 on the side of Kowalkiewicz. Let's see, what's the over 2.5 rounds? Over 2.5 rounds, minus 425. Expected to go longer. 4 KOs, submission on contender, aging Kowalkiewicz. Kowalkiewicz, though, knocked out just against Andrade years ago. Jessica Penne got her in that armbar. Wow. That's a throwback and a half. Hard to say that Polastri is definitely going to get a finish. I don't love that over tag. I don't like the betting tag. Betting side of this fight is pretty bland. Maybe the prop betting will catch my eye with something. So tune in throughout the week, especially Thursday when we do Propaholics and we really go deep on pure props. I feel like here, my brain tells me Polastri, bigger punches, Polastri, top position, Polastri, more primed, more athletic, seems to have the tools to beat a 40-year-old Karolina Kowalkiewicz, especially at home in Brazil, in Rio. I think it's the Kowalkiewicz final showdown, too. I wouldn't be surprised if she retires after this one. Might be in the back of her mind as well. And I think Polastri should handle business. So I'm going prospect over veteran Polastri to get her second UFC win. Next fight, we got the big boys going after it. Valter Walker versus Mohammed Usman. I'm going to predict that Valter Walker wins this fight. His submission game is legit. His heel hook game is next level. Mohammed Usman does have some power, though. He's got awkward boxing. Decent right hand, decent left hook. Will throw some power overhands, but hits hard, but also is like not the most accurate. Last fight was able to beat Hamdi Abdelwahab in a mediocre decision. It's not like Hamdi is this top up-and-comer. And then losses to Thomas Petersen and Mick Parkin. To be fair, he went distance with both of them, and I guess that demands some respect because, not really, honestly. Nah, I mean, Mick Parkin's a decisionator, and Thomas Petersen is too. Valter Walker is on a roll right now. 3 straight wins, 3 straight heel hooks, beating guys like Kenley Nzechukwu, Dontel Mays, and Junior Tafa. The level of opposition lines up. I mean, Mo Usman won a competitive fight against Junior Tafa. I think that Walter Walker is going to get this fight to where he's most comfortable. I'm expecting another heel hook. I'm sure Team Usman's training for it, but I just don't know if you can stop the heel hook specialist who at 27 is really getting into his prime now. At heavyweight, he's a baby. And it's a Mo Usman at 36 who's, 11-4 record, Ultimate Fighter winner, but just never really moves the needle. Doesn't have the wrestling background of his brother. He's a football player, so not a wrestling threat here. How does Mo Usman win? A one-punch KO? He's going to knock Walter Walker out? I don't think so. He's going to box him up for 3 rounds. He's going to stay away. He's going to avoid the takedown. I don't think so. I think Walter Walker takes Usman down. If he chooses to, he could get a different type of submission. It's not just heel hook. As much as Walter Walker's missed a heel hook, he could end up going for something else. I feel like Mo Usman is going to be anticipating the heel hook, but I feel like it's one of those situations where it's like you can't stop it even when you know it's coming. So I'm going to say Walter Walker by sub. Makes a lot of sense. And at heavyweight, these guys suck with the leg lock game. The leg entanglements are something that just at heavyweight especially, and you're not doing true, modern jujitsu as like a forefront focus of MMA because it's very rare guys are shooting for techniques like that and actually successful with it because they're normally not jacked 6'6" savages like Walter Walker is. I just think he's going to end up getting locked in a heel hook too. I'm going Walter Walker by sub. Walter Walker is 3-1 favorite, deserve tag. Walter Walker deserves to be a 3-1 favorite. I think that this should be another showcase. They're giving him a level of competition that arguably is less than Kennedy and Zechiku. And Zechiku is riding a nice win streak. He's got some power. He's putting knockouts together a little bit better than Mo Usman has as of late. Usman plus 250, deserve it underdog. And then let's look towards the prop betting side, or at least the over-under side. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 155. I'm going to say yes. I'm surprised it's not under 1.5. I think this fight is live to go under a round and a half. Walter Walker by sub early is a real tactic at this point. And looking at the heel hook success, I don't know if Mo Usman stops it. And I get it. You're like, you're just riding with what he's doing every time. Himself, he has said he's a heel hook hunter. He's looking for another heel hook, I'm telling you. And his opponents know that it's coming. I just don't know if they're stopping it. And Mo Usman, a little bit heavy-footed, right? Not the fastest guy, not the best jiu-jitsu. He's like big and strong. Okay. I think Walter Walker could get at the legs, and it don't matter how big. Now, to be fair, Mo Usman does got some big-ass legs. We'll see how he fights off the heel hook attempts, but I think Walter Walker could end up going for it and succeeding. But even if not the heel hook, I could see him getting takedowns. I could see him beating Mo Usman up with ground and pound. I could see him choking Mo Usman out. I could see him finishing him from top position. I think Walter Walker can win this fight anywhere on the ground. And Usman, a lot of the times, has that wrestling in the back pocket. Though it's not high level, it still works at this level. I think that Walter Walker clears the slate. So Walter Walker for the win. Feeling good about it. And I'm going to say win by submission as well. Next fight on the card, we got Lucas Rocha versus Stewart Nicoll. I feel pretty torn up about this fight because there is pathways for both guys. Nicoll is a really good grappler. Obviously, at what level, though? Outside the UFC, fighting, mediocre competition. Lucas Rocha, big win on Contender Series, knocked out Davy Bittencourt, starting his UFC career off with some hype. And then he got dog-walked by Clayton Carpenter. I'm torn on the pick, man. I'm going to pick Lucas Rocha. He's training with Chute Box, Diego Lima. They're doing pretty good as of right now. His stand-up game is pretty solid. It was always solid, but I'm sure it's going to get better and better. He's got power in his hands. He's got nasty leg kicks. He's really aggressive. I'll say he's over-aggressive, though. Like, the thing about Lucas Rocha is he's one of those fighters that's willing to sit in the pocket and slug shots and go to war. He's willing to take the chances. He's been dropped before. He's been knocked out before. But he also has some violent KO wins. He's a violence-first fighter. On the side of Nicoll, it's more control. Wrestling, top control, ground and pound, get to the back. And his ground skills look good. But at what level? I mean, the Jesus Aguilar fight, he was winning, but then Aguilar ends up hitting a reversal, catching him in a gilly. I just don't know about Stewart Nicoll. He's an 8-1 prospect, and he's 30 years old. And his highest level fight outside of the UFC is a guy who was 5-0 at the time, Isai Kitano. And it's like, okay, he's running through the scene over there. in Australia, but what does that mean? Lucas Rocha, you got to have some net positives. Fought in LFA. Got to win there. Now got put in compromised spots on the ground. The worry with Rocha is these ground skills. The worry is him getting his back taken, but he's young at 25. Also, Stewart Nicoll just got to Rio today. All right. I double checked this. I tracked him. I was on Instagram and I saw that he just got there. There's like a 13-hour time difference. So jet lag could be a factor. 0-1 in the UFC, fighting in Lucas Rocha's home country across the damn planet. And you got Rocha, who I feel like got to have a bit of a fire lit under his ass after Clayton Carpenter handled. And I look at Clayton Carpenter, and, we saw him take down Tigir Ulanbekov. Carpenter's a really good wrestler. Is that loss that bad for the young Lucas Rocha? I think Rocha's got skills, and I think he's got a lot of potential sitting on the table here. Now, Stewart Nicoll on the ground is definitely a threat to Lucas Rocha. I have to be wary of his takedown defense, but if the hole is slowly but surely getting closed up, I think he's the better striker, and I don't know about Stewart Nicoll's competition, man. It's not crazy high-level guys, and yes, he takes them down, he backs them up, body lock trips against the cage, double leg takedowns, and things of that magnitude. Pretty basic pressure, grappling control. But when the level jump happened, I mean, he did get locked in a gilly and put to sleep by Jesus Aguilar. Yes, Jesus Aguilar is gritty and a tricky veteran. That was a bad debut for a guy in Stewart Nicoll who was coming in with a ton of hype. Lucas Rocha, more experienced, albeit some of those Brazilian fights, it is what it is. I like his stand-up. I like the fact that he's younger at 25. There's upside there. I'm going to go towards Lucas Rocha. I think he can pull through. But Stewart Nicoll plus 110, underdog line. Lucas Rocha minus 130 on the favorite status. It could be a back and forth coin flip type of fight. It could go either way. I'm not crazy about the Lucas Rocha side at all. Over 2.5 plus 100. I mean, there's definitely a chance that there's a finish between the two. Nicoll by sub, Rocha maybe by a KO. He's shown some good finishing ability. I really just feel coin flippy. I mean, I could sit here for probably another 10 minutes and talk about how Nicoll could land takedowns, get the back of Rocha. He's had his back taken before and lock up a sub. We could also talk about the fact that Stewart Nicoll has literally fought nobodies. And yeah, he's a purple belt, bronze in the gi back in 2015 and has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But what does that really mean? And we can look at Lucas Rocha with knockouts on his record, winning by KO on the Contender Series, showing dangerous striking, has an awareness to land a knee like that. And we don't even know if Stewart Nicoll's chin. It's really with Stewart Nicoll, you're backing what you hear about is good versus, Lucas Rocha, what do you see on the table? 2 fights at the higher level, 1-1. Stewart Nicoll, 0-1. Sure, could he take Rocha down? I think so. But what if he can't submit him and then they're forced into a striking fight? I don't know how Stewart Nicoll does on the feet. Stewart Nicoll's striking seems rudimentary, basic blitzes. Really is the mentality of getting fights to the ground. So, okay, maybe he wins the first round with wrestling. Maybe he has success there. But then he doesn't get a submission. Round 2 comes and Rocha starts teeing him up with shots, starts defending takedowns. Stewart Nicoll wilts to big shots. We're going off what-if factors. At the end of the day, we got 2 guys unproven at this level, but we have a 25-year-old working with Shoot Their Box team, fighting at home in Brazil, and then we have a guy who's nearly 31 with half the pro experience. I'm going to go towards Rocha. I think that the dangerous striking and the grappling defense should be enough, and I do think he can put some big shots together. And there's a possibility that he knocks Stewart Nicoll out or even clubs and subs the grappler in this one here. So I'm going to go with Lucas Rocha to pull off the win in pretty much a 50-50 fight. The lines have shifted. Initially, the lines had Nicoll as the favorite. Now it's Rocha. There's flip-flopping and all around, all right? Next fight. Ladies going after it. Irina Alekseeva versus Beatriz Mesquita. What are we doing? A 34-year-old jiu-jitsu champion, Hall of Famer in the IBJJF, transitioned to MMA a year and 3 months ago, and she's 5-0. And she's taken on Miss Inconsistency in Irina Alekseeva. And I have to make a pick between the two. Oh, my God. I feel like Mesquita working with American Top Team. I know she's with Pahumpa over there. I trust the high level of training in the room. She's also training with Claudia Saigula, who just beat up Irina Alekseeva. I really think that the grappling should work. Her striking in some of her LFA fights looked goddamn awful. You can walk into women's karate kickboxing and you're going to find sharper hands. Now, to be fair, her most recent fight, stand-up looked a little more controlled. Still, obviously, ways to go. And she's 34 years old, so a crazy late start into MMA. And, oh, yeah, add into it, you're going to be giving up 4 inches in height, and Alekseeva has a judo background. That's the fear here, too, for me. There's a judo background for Alekseeva. Like, yeah, she's fought okay comp. I mean, Melissa Mullins beat her ass with grappling, but Melissa Mullins a big girl, 5'7". Claudia Saigula tuned her up, 5'7". Beatriz Mesquita, small, 5'4". I'll be honest, when you watch tape, you're thinking, oh man, is she going to be fighting at 25? She looks a little chubby. She's a 35er with really good jiu-jitsu who's fought against mid-opposition. It's one of those weird fights where it's like I could go out on a whim and go for the Alekseeva dog side, but Alekseeva's fight IQ is suspect for sure. But then again, she could catch Beatriz with a big overhand. Something about Alekseeva, she does have some crazy shots that she throws. Very wild striker. Chaotic, wide hooks, heavy leg kicks. Beatriz has true grappling skill. Her takedown game is okay. Definitely effective, but not hyper elite, being that she's a, IBJJF Hall of Famer and a jiu-jitsu champ. Normally, their takedowns are a little subpar. She's done great in grappling. How does that transition to this level in MMA? Listen, Alekseeva is a serious level jump from anybody that Beatriz Mesquita has fought before. If she can't land the takedown, I really assume that she gets tuned up on the feet. The problem is if she gets the takedown, I can see Alekseeva getting her back taken. I can see Alekseeva getting pounded on a bit. The size of Alekseeva alone, though, has me sitting here contemplating. I really feel this card is fucking wild. This is a weird fight for me. A 34-year-old prospect, if she was 26, 27, I feel like she wouldn't even be signed for the UFC yet. They wouldn't even bring her on. But because she's 34, nearly 35, it's like, all right, we got to bring her now. My initial instinct, though, okay, before seeing Mesquita's with ATT, just watching one of her LFA fights, before I watched the rest of them, when I saw the terrible one she had against this girl with a losing record, I said, this woman is a complete can. She's buns. Her striking sucks. Her ground skills are good, but only turned pro a year and 3 months ago? As inconsistent as Alekseeva is, I have to look at, okay, she beat Stephanie Egger, who's a legit MMA fighter. She's got wins in Bellator. She's lost 2 straight, Saigula and Mullins, which, not great on the resume, but at least she's fighting consistently again. It was 3 months ago she lost to Saigula, and she was expected to win that fight. A size advantage here over Beatriz? Dude, if it turns into a striking fight, and if Beatriz can't get Alekseeva down, Alekseeva has a background in combat sambo. She's got a background in judo. If she can keep it on the feet, I really think that Mesquita's chin could get tested. She got cracked by a hard jab and got wobbled a bit against that girl with a losing record she fought a few fights ago. Where was it? Right here. Fernanda Araujo made her uncomfortable. Fernanda Araujo is 2-4 at the time, 2-5 now, hasn't fought since then. 5'4" with a 63-inch reach. And that fight 9 months ago, how much better has she gotten since then? I'm about to just do it. Oh, I've always liked Alekseeva. And they're trying to build this Brazilian girl up off rip, throwing her out there against a woman that, 1-2 in the UFC, 2 straight losses, but full-time MMA fighter and has been fighting MMA for years versus just jiu-jitsu. We've seen these jiu-jitsu practitioners come in and get fucking L's. Oh, my God. I said it after the Players fight. I'm done picking guard pullers. I don't know if Mesquita's a guard puller. If I said I was going to pick Mesquita, I just feel like, goddamn, I can't. I feel like Alekseeva could knock her out. I feel like Alekseeva could tune her up on the feet. Yes, she's spectacular at jiu-jitsu, but if Alekseeva can stop some takedowns, her grappling defense isn't bad. And Melissa Mullins taking her down. Mullins is a big, strong woman. Mesquita, 5'4", body fat. Like, she should be fighting at 125 pounds, to be honest. What are we doing to me, UFC? Am I about to pick this big of an underdog here? 34, turned pro in MMA a year and 3 months ago versus 35, been pro a long time, but yes, does lack a lot of fights. I mean, only 8 pro fights, so not a crazy experience advantage. But look at the different opposition rate. Stephanie Yeager, Melissa Mullins, Claudia Saigula, Sierra Dinwoody, Hope Chase, and Fernanda Aruja, and then debuting girls. I think I'm going to go Alekseeva for the upset. She might get taken down, but at 5'8", that size of her is going to be a problem. She's a real bantamweight. I don't think of Beatriz as a real bantamweight. Beat Jennifer Maia at 145, but grappling's different. She's got good grappling wins. She's got good grappling wins. She does. At 132, she was grappling. Let's see here. Let's scroll back. Juliana Miller, she lost to in jiu-jitsu back in 2021. That's suspect. It was EBI, different rule set, but that's interesting. 132 she was grappling at. That's an interesting take. Huh. Gabby Garcia at open weight. Or grappled her, I should say. 141. She's at a really good team, an American top team, training with the girl that just beat Irina Alekseeva. It poses the question of what could be. But I just sit here and think about Alekseeva, the good side of her. She does have some hands. She does have power. She is aggressive. She has the judo background. She's an athletic girl. She knows how to fight. Beatriz knows how to grapple, but she can't punch. The disparity in grappling, is it as wide as the disparity in striking? What happens when Beatriz gets caught with a big punch? Listen, this fight here against Hope Chase is a reason that I'm going to pick Alekseeva. She got caught with an illegal up kick and then just laid down, quit, bailed out of the fight. Yeah, it hit her hard in the nose and a little bit on the eye. And she got the DQ, but pulled a balato and just laid down as if she was in such serious pain. I look at that performance and I'm like, okay, what happens if Alekseeva punches her hard in the face? Would she fall to her back in a similar way? Does she end up quitting like an Andre Muniz type? I'm going Alekseeva, guys. Fuck it. I'm going to say Alekseeva knocks her out. If I'm wrong, I don't give a shit with this women's fight. I'm not going out and picking 2 women's favorites with wide-ass lines. I feel like some weird shit is bound to happen on this card. Alekseeva, she was off for a while, comes back, loses to Saigula. Now, returning back to competition, 3 months, maybe we see a sharper Alekseeva in this one. Not a long layoff Alekseeva. And Alekseeva coming out, ready to fight, warmed up. We saw Beatriz fight 3 months ago as well. I don't care about LFA titles. I don't care about jiu-jitsu championships. I care about fighting. And I have a serious question mark around if Beatriz really can fight or if they're just bringing her in because she's Brazilian and this card is on Rio. And yes, she's a jiu-jitsu champ. I hate that she's 34, making the turnaround to fight MMA. 34, not a lot of experience, and the striking seems terrible. I'm going to go Alekseeva. I think she could pull it off as a dog. I'm going to pick her. -600. This girl better be the second coming of Khabib Nurmagomedov in female form. And her wrestling game is not. The girls getting taken down are just getting taken down by like basic double legs. Not even like nasty shots. Just like fucking almost like tackling double legs. And they just fall over. Maybe Alekseeva will just fall over too, but maybe not. I'll pick Alekseeva. +425 for Alekseeva here. The fuck with this fight? Under a round and a half, +105. Possible. I hate this fight. I genuinely hate it. It's just, I really think that Alekseeva's live to win. Like, I'll be annoyed if Beatriz just takes her down and subs her. I think she's not good at all. Her striking is terrible. The way she was winging arm punches, like, it looked awful. if Alekseeva can connect with some big shots, I think that she could end up rocking her bad and putting her out. I get it. Alekseeva only has one KO win. I know. But she does have some dangerous striking. And Beatriz, red flag around her toughness, red flag around the level of opposition. If Alekseeva's staying up on 2 feet, I think she's live to win it. We'll go Alekseeva for the upset. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we got the heavyweights going after it. Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Petersen. I like heavyweight look Vitor Petrino. Thick boy Vitor Petrino weighing in at 249 pounds. The guy looks like a real life pit bull. He could take that pit bull nickname because he looks about as accurate to a pit bull as anybody with that nickname ever has before, you know? My God, at heavyweight, Petrino looks freaky. Brazilian powerhouse, big left hook, big right overhand, athletic as fuck, heavy calf kicks, dangerous striker, but his ground skills are good too. Very solid jiu-jitsu, good offensive wrestling, a force to be reckoned with at heavyweight. Now, to be fair though, Thomas Petersen on the other side is an underrated boxer, and he's a good pressure wrestler. He's a southpaw, a little awkward with his striking, actually lands some good straight lefts, a decent jab. Takedown threat is there, cardio is there. Thomas Petersen is a bit of a weird fight for Vitor Petrino. I think we're going to kind of find out everything about Petrino. I've been a big Petrino fan since the debut. I felt like this is a guy that has some upside since the Contender Series fight even. Knocked out Modestas Bukauskas violently. Yeah, he took a couple L's. Bad knockout loss to Dustin Jacoby. And then obviously the bad submission loss with Anthony Smith. But he made a big mistake in that Smith fight. He corrected it in the last fight. Made easy work of Austin Lane. Taking him down. Beating the shit out of him. He's taking on a guy in Thomas Petersen who I don't love the chances of him out wrestling. But I do think with Petrino's power, he could rock Thomas Petersen. Potentially put him to sleep. I think a one-punch KO is live here for Petrino. We saw Thomas Petersen 2 fights ago, badly knocked out by Shamil Gaziev. He did have some striking moments before getting chinned, so it's not all bad things. Listen, Thomas Petersen is a tough SOB, straight out of Minnesota. They make him tough up there in the cold, man. It's freezing all year. I just think that Petrino's better than this. 28 years old, 12-2 pro. Now, granted, good record on Petersen's side, 10-3. Still got that Jamal Pogues loss. But to be fair, turned up after, beat Mo Usman, who's also on this card. Gaziev chins him, beats Dontel Mays. He dog walks Mays with the strong wrestling, and it was a good performance. It was really one-sided. I like what I saw from him. But I'm thinking about Petrino, and I'm like, does he get out-wrestled like that? Petrino's an athlete. I think Petrino could stop the takedowns. I think Petrino could potentially threaten with, the front headlock position as Petersen's shooting. It turns into more of a striking match, and I think Petrino could shut the lights off. I'm going to go Vitor Petrino by violent KO. I think that he finds a big hook and knocks Petersen out as Petersen tries to enter range. I think Vitor Petrino with the check left hook could be effective against the southpaw here. He definitely has the power to put out a lot of heavyweights. And I think that he looks way better in the heavyweight division. I know you guys are saying I'm crazy, and I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion. I think that Petrino could run into some L's forthcoming when you get into the elites. Thomas Petersen is like that perfect 50-50 test right before you're ready to get into the mix with the better half or the better quarter, I'll say. Not an easy out, but a winnable out. I think at home in Brazil, Petrino can handle. Thomas Petersen definitely coming to wrestle. Plus 250 Petersen. He could box with him a little, but I think even Petersen's team knows as good as Petersen's boxing is, he's deceptively slick with hands. If you sit in there and you mess around with Petrino, at any point, one shot can violently flatline you. And seeing how Gaziev knocked him out, that's got to be in the back of their mind that they could get knocked out in this spot too. Minus 300 for Petrino, big favorite. I feel like some people are going to be on this Petersen dog side though. They're going to think Petersen with the takedowns. Listen, over a round and a half, minus 170. I feel like if you like Petersen, you're going that way. And you're thinking Petersen's hitting some takedowns, gassing Petrino out, grinding out a win. That'll be like the definition of physiques mean shit in the heavyweight division. Because we got a muscled up savage in Petrino. Looks like a goddamn Goliath versus Thomas Petersen. I call him Peter Griffin Petersen for a reason. He really does remind me a lot of Peter Griffin. And he also has that, Peter Griffin mentality. Straightforward blast, bringing the heat, looking to fight. but deceptively slick with hands. But I think for a wrestler, he's overly willing to sit in there and slug some fist. And I think Vitor Petrino could connect with the death punch. I'm going Petrino. I'm going KO. Getting the win streak back on 2 in a row now. And I think things are going in a nice direction for Vitor Petrino in 2026 if he's able to handle the Thomas Petersen here. Next fight on the card, we have our featured prelim of the night. Jafel, Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. Ooh, I really feel like I'm getting put to work with these picks, man. I wrote down right away, I feel torn. I feel torn. Both guys are good. I like both guys. I think both guys are tricky. Elements of the game that both guys have over one another, but shit, man. Filho's good at jiu-jitsu. Clayton Carpenter is really a strong athlete and a good wrestler, but the worry with Filho, I'm going to say it now before I give the pick. The worry with Filho is that in the third round or late in the second, scrambles to position, ends up giving his back. Clayton Carpenter took down Tagir Ulanbekov. I have been high on Clayton Carpenter for a minute now. And him making it a dogfight with Ulanbekov demands a lot of respect. Let's say a prayer to the MMA gods before the pick. Please lead us to the right call. I'm going to close my eyes and truly let the pick come to me here. Clayton Carpenter by the upset. All right. Why am I picking Clayton Carpenter for the upset? I think that Clayton Carpenter could outstrike Jafel Filho. With boxing, Carpenter's aggressive, good hooks, fast hands, in-your-face style, high output, and a good gas tank. On the ground, Filho has better jiu-jitsu, for sure. But Clayton Carpenter is defensively sound with grappling, and I think he's the better wrestler. Now, Filho does have deceptively good wrestling for a guy with the jiu-jitsu base, and I could see him pushing the pace on Carpenter and trying to take his ass down and maybe even getting his ass down. Does Carpenter get caught in a weird submission? It's not impossible. I mean, listen, Filho almost knee-barred Mokaev 2.5 years ago. This last fight 4 months ago against Nascimento, Filho sold bad. He was high on the back, got reversed, and then Nascimento was all over him. Nascimento stole that fight, second and third. He posed through. It's a fight that Filho was looking really good early. But when I look at it, I look at the red flag around how he sold that fight. Yes, Clayton Carpenter at the end lost to Tagir Ulanbekov, but it's the Dagestan thing. Okay, it's Ulanbekov. I think Ulanbekov would also beat a Jafel Filho. I think about Carpenter being aggressive with his hands, backing Filho up. If he's stopping takedowns, maybe even getting on top of Filho, winning the grappling exchanges. The difference between a Nascimento, who did beat Filho, and a Carpenter. Clayton Carpenter is more scrambly, more of that wrestling scramble game. Nascimento with very good technical jiu-jitsu, that kind of matches up right for Filho to have control over. He's better at takedowns and control than a lot of these jiu-jitsu guys. But on the side of Carpenter, it's that more American wrestling base. Also, 29, improving at a fast rate, MMA lab prospect. A fight against Ulanbekov 8 months ago, I feel like it's one of those fights where you learn. I like Clayton Carpenter's hands better. I think he could crack Filho with some big shots. I like Clayton Carpenter's body kicks, too. I like Clayton Carpenter's movement. Filho trying to wrestle, and if he gets Carpenter down, I won't be shocked, but I think Carpenter can burst back up. I think Carpenter could hit takedowns. I think in back and forth striking exchanges, Carpenter can be the guy that comes out on top. My God. This is a competitive fight. And looking at the odds, they have it sitting at even money. Minus 105 Filho, minus 115 Carpenter. It's even lines, man. For a reason. This is a 50-50, but I'm going with upside. I'm going with Clayton Carpenter learning a lot from a loss to Tagir Ulanbekov, a fight that he wasn't supposed to be competitive in. Against Tagir Ulanbekov, what were the lines? He was a plus 260 underdog there. Yeah, he lost clearly, but he pushed it against Ulanbekov. He never wilted, never gave up on himself. And at the end of the day, Ulanbekov able to win. This is a better matchup size-wise. Similar height, similar reach for the two of them. Younger Carpenter representing the USA. I just feel it, man. Ran through Lucas Rocha impressively, made it look easy. And I'm picking Rocha on this card. Easy win against Juan Camilo Ronderos. The Edgar Chairez win as well 3 years ago for Filho. Nice submission against Ode Osborne, but Ode's weakness has always been good grapplers. Subbed up Daniel Barres, but he got rocked in that fight. Mohammed Mokaev, okay. Mohammed Mokaev lost his fair. He nearly had the knee bar. And then Roybert Echeverria, who's actually a decent prospect. Alan Nascimento beats him last time. I think Clayton Carpenter can put a pace on. I think Carpenter could be aggressive with strikes and land big shots. I think Carpenter pulls off the upset, or he's the favorite slightly. I guess it's not an upset. It feels like an upset, though. It's odds-wise, it's not an upset, but it feels like an upset due to Filho being the more seasoned veteran. Minus 165 for the over 2.5. I feel like it is live to go over 2.5, but don't get it twisted. Carpenter's violent, man. Good finishing skills by submission, but also 2 KOs. On the side of Filho, you know what he likes to do. Control and wins by sub, but does have 5 knockouts. To be fair, though. To be fair, he caught Roybert Echeverria with the death punch. True. He did catch him beautifully, man. But I just don't see it. Ground and pound against Salvador. I don't see him ground and pound in our guy, Clayton Carpenter. I think there has to be one of them. Savage mode, USA. Clayton Carpenter goes down to Brazil and takes home a W for America. That's my prediction here. I like Clayton Carpenter's chances. I'm going to pick him to win against Jafel Filho. I don't know what the lines are going to look like as the week goes on, but goddamn, Carpenter feels like an underdog here. He's the favorite in the spot, or ever so slight. It's even money. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe it up. We got Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. I'm going to pick Lucas Almeida. I think Lucas Almeida can work well in this matchup here. Going to be taller and longer. Almeida's sharp from the outside. His boxing's good. Lucas Almeida has that Brazilian Muay Thai power style, but he's got good straight shots and deceptive speed, too, with his punches. He's got a really good left hook, really good right hook, too, in range. But from distance, nice jab, stinging straight, good teeps to the body. Moves pretty well. Now, in the third round, you could worry about Aswell keeps on keeping on because Aswell's relentless. But I think Almeida can shine. He did well against Danny Silva, going the distance there, making it a competitive fight, losing a split decision. Beat up Timmy Kawamba. And listen, Timmy Kawamba is a solid striker. It's funny. Win over Timmy Kawamba, who had lost a close fight with Balaji Oki in the fight prior on short notice. Now he's fighting Michael Aswell, who stepped in on short notice and fought Balaji Oki as well. He keeps getting Balaji Oki's leftovers. He passed the test last time. I feel like he can do it again here. Aswell, split decision here with Dorian Ramos, and then Bogdan Grad split decision there. I feel like it's going to be close. The thing about Michael Aswell is he's one of those guys who's just dog pressure, willing to sit in the pocket and throw multiple shot combinations, willing to eat shots to land shots. The head is there to be hit, but he's got a good chin, and he doesn't stop. He's a high-volume brawler. He's going to keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Now, I think Lucas Almeida can keep up with that type of pace. Red flag on Lucas Almeida, though. Miss weight for his last fight. If he misses weight here or he looks bad on the scale, the pick could potentially stray to the other side. But right now, I think of it like this. If we have a fully healthy Lucas Almeida versus a fully healthy Michael Aswell, I think Almeida's a little bit sharper with his Muay Thai. I think Aswell's dangerous in the pocket with volume, but I think Almeida could definitely fire back and land nasty elbows in close. Could mix it up with punches in close. I think Almeida's got the chin to deal with Aswell's shots. Lucas Almeida is one of those guys that's just consistently slept on and underrated, okay? Close fight with Daniel Zellhuber, lost, right? Gets signed to the UFC, knocks out Ultimate Fighter winner Michael Trezano on the comeback. Pat Sabatini destroys him. Andre Fili destroys him. Beats Timmy Kawamba, loses the split against Danny Silva. I don't see Michael Aswell one-shot KOing him. I see it as a 3-round fight, similar to his last 2. And I think Almeida can come out on the right side of it in close fashion against a guy that's a little bit less experienced. A guy that I see having some vulnerabilities to be caught with counter shots in range. A guy who's so willing to be hit to land his own shots that could be the ultimate detriment at the end. Even if we go the full 3, which I think we probably do, I could see Lucas Almeida just landing more throughout and Aswell caught chasing a bit. Not that he won't win exchanges, not that he won't have moments, but it's hard for me to say that he's just going to violently chin a Lucas Almeida. Could he catch him with the shot over the top? Of course it's possible. Almeida 34, not that he's old, he's still primed at 34, but missing weight last time. If he makes weight this time, who knows where his head is at. Almeida is not the most reliable guy of all time, but neither is an 0-1 in the UFC Michael Aswell, and 0-2 under the Zuffa banner with a Contender Series loss to Bogdan Grad. Gritty performances in both, but still losses in both. I think that Lucas Almeida can get the hand raised, and I'm going to say that he does it in competitive fashion. This is the type of level that Almeida tends to win at, and I'm going to believe he does enough to win out of here. Plus 122 for Lucas Almeida, as well sitting at minus 142. Looking towards the overs, over 2.5, minus 162. Not crazy about it, but maybe. We'll see. I like Lucas Almeida to pull it off. He's an underdog at plus 122 in the spot. You want to bet it? Are you feeling the Lucas Almeida dog side? Both guys got dog in them, though. And I expect a back and forth fight. I think Almeida can do a little more. I think he's a little sharper. But Aswell's going to make it close. So if you are going to bet Lucas Almeida, don't be surprised when you're sitting there sweating because it's back and forth and both guys having moments. And then they go to the cards. I think that the Brazilian gets the hand raised in Brazil. I'm going to go Almeida on the judges' scorecards here. Next fight, Ricardo Ramos versus Kaan Ofli. I like Ricardo Ramos. I think Ricardo Ramos is actually going to put a good performance out. He's due for a good performance. It's been a while since Ramos has had a nice, impressive win. Back in 2022 against Danny Chavez, we saw Ramos look really slick. He's only 30, man. He's been in the UFC for a long while now with inconsistent results. He made his UFC debut back in 2017. All right, he's been on the roster since I graduated high school, dog. And then you look, 3 straight wins, even a win over Ayman Zahabi. Said Nurmagomedov beats him, but then 2 straight wins. Lerone Murphy knocks him out. Beats Bill Algeo. Zabira Tuhugov gets him on the card. Beats Danny Chavez. And then the downfall of a man. Submission loss, Erosa and Jourdain. Close with Kulabau in a shitty fight. He pulls it off. Kulabau really sold there with Ramos having some success getting to his back. And then against Chepe Mariscal, he got outdogged, but still went distance against Chepe. And I think that demands some respect that he still pushed the pace for 3 rounds and was spinning elbows till the end of it. I think Kaan Ofli is pretty mediocre. He's an Ultimate Fighter finalist. He got knocked out by Myron Santos, and then he just lost to Mohammed Naimov pretty dominantly. He was known for the wrestling. The hype on him is the wrestling skills, the ability to get people down, the ability to control. Ricardo Ramos is deceptively good at jiu-jitsu, and he does have a fairly strong defensive wrestling game, obviously depending at what level. Striking of Ramos is a lot more creative, and he has a lot more weapons. Ramos with nasty spinning back elbows. He's a creative attack type. Sometimes stupidly creative, like throwing the, not even spinning, it's like the behind the lead leg kick with the bottom of the foot that he was throwing at Murphy, and then he got knocked out. You guys got to understand, when I first started the channel, I remember being high. I'm like, yo, not high on the you know what, but high on Ricardo Ramos. I'm like, I think this guy's got upside. I think this guy's a potential threat. He reminds me of Charles Oliveira, and then just consistent downfall. And he hasn't had much momentum in his UFC career. But this type of matchup, I think this is the right fight for him to thrive. I think he can knock Kaan Ofli out with a spinning elbow here. I think he can really style on Kaan Ofli. Kaan Ofli is the definition of basic striking with decent wrestling. Nothing impresses me. Whereas there's moments with Ramos where I'm like, this fucking guy's good. I think Ramos is live to win inside distance. Submission or KO are live here. If you look at the side of Kaan Ofli, only knocked out 1 time. Also has 3 decision Ls. Nathan Fletcher, Rody Roots, wins on the Ultimate Fighter, but it's Ultimate Fighter, man. It ain't UFC. It's still a tryout, you know? I think that Ramos goes out there and gets the hand raised, and I'm going to say that he does it by violence. I'm going to go Ramos by knockout. He's a minus 182 favorite. I agree with the odds here. Plus 157 for Kaan Ofli. At home in Brazil, they're giving Ramos a big chance to thrive and shine. Under 2.5, plus 145. I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say fight ends inside of the distance. I'm going to say Ramos has some impressive moments in the stand-up. I think he's capable of it. Big reach advantage in this fight. Going to have a 6-inch reach edge, 2 inches taller, longer legs, better from the outside. This is Ricardo Ramos' time to shine, man. It's going to happen here. Ramos is going to do it. Ramos is finally going to deliver a performance. We haven't had it in years. The performance to say, whoa, there he is. This is the one. I'm telling you, this is the one. Ricardo Ramos can strike, man. And he's got good jiu-jitsu. He's not smart, but maybe he's getting smarter. I'm going Ramos by KO to put it on against Kaan Ofli. I'm going knockout. Next fight on the card, we have heavyweights going after it. Johanata Diniz versus Mario Pinto. Ooh, another one. Oh, I really want to go Pinto. I'll go Pinto, but oh my God. My red flag on Pinto is he's just not proven enough inside of the UFC. Got cracked by a big right hand against Austin Lane and hit the canvas. It wasn't as badly rocked on the rewatch than when you watch live. It's just because Austin Lane is just not good, right? And then Lane catches him with the right and he fucking hits the ground. And it's like, what the hell? And Lane's, using his size and pressuring. But Pinto didn't get taken down. He still struck with him. Then he violently knocked him out with an overhand right come round two. Johanata Diniz also had a terrible first round against Austin Lane. He was mounted by Austin Lane. He was dominated on the ground. He was football tackled and then mounted by Austin Lane. Now, his takedown defense has gotten better. He showed that against Carl Williams for the first two, but it's like, what does the win against Carl Williams mean in 2025? Carl Williams is taking L's in PFL now. Lost the fight to Tybura after the fact, hit him with a big shot, but then chose to grapple with him, low fight IQ. And then obviously Tybura just got destroyed by Deliha. So what is Tybura in 2025? He won a robbery against Mick Parkin. And then Alvin Hines' decision. Okay, Hines tested positive for the roids. He was taking a lot of shit, but couldn't knock him out. Mario Pinto looks like a beastly prospect. Mario Pinto looks like a heavyweight to keep an eye on. He moves like one. He's got good hand speed. He's got really good footwork. He's technical in the striking. He's got power in both shots. Really nice, like sweeping overhand punches. 27 years old. He just feels like the A side of this fight. I really think Mario Pinto can get the win against Johanata Diniz here. Diniz is a former Glory kickboxer, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get knocked out by an MMA kickboxer. Pinto could also be tactical, though. He's won fights by decisions before. And I think Austin Lane caught him with the wild shot. That was more of the unexpected. He knows that Diniz is a schooled kickboxer. And I think there comes a certain level of respect when you have an opponent who you know is technically sound, right? So we'll see Mario Pinto fighting smart, probably behind the long jab. As Diniz will look to enter range, they'll be exchanging leg kicks. Maybe Pinto catches him with some shovel hooks. Maybe rocks Johanata Diniz. Could Diniz get his light shut off here? When was the last time he got KO'd, man? KO'd by a head kick in 2018 in kickboxing. Durable guy. Durable guy. And Mario Pinto's won decisions before. He's got 3 decision wins. Is there a chance it's technicality? It's hard to pick against Diniz by KO. I'm going to pick Pinto to win, but I could see Pinto on the cards. I could see Pinto using an MMA game. Like, his striking is his bread and butter. But is it crazy, and bear with, is it crazy if Pinto's like, fuck this, I'm going to make him think I'm kickboxing, then take his fucking kickboxing ass down? Like, if Pinto took him down, got on top and controlled, and surprised Diniz with some wrestling, would you be shocked here? I wouldn't. Not that Pinto looks like a blue chip grappler on the side. He's known for the stand-up game. But I do think if there was takedowns, it's more likely Pinto to implement an MMA-based fight as opposed to Diniz on the opposite front. I think Mario Pinto wins. I think Mario Pinto could land shots. I think Mario Pinto could have moments. I think Mario Pinto can outstrike Diniz technically, but I think he can mix it up into an MMA fight. Diniz has got real power. And if Pinto does have a glass slipper jaw, the young heavyweight might be looking up at the lights come the end of it. But Diniz's power is also vastly overrated. And I think that was proven with his fights against Alvin Hines and Carl Williams, where he landed good shots, but there wasn't a crazy reaction. I don't think Diniz is this death punch bomber like he was originally advertised to be. And he was supposed to fight Vitor Petrino a couple fights ago, or last fight, wasn't it? Didn't Vitor pull out? And then Alvin Hines stepped in? Let me double check. Initially, he was supposed to fight Vitor Petrino back in March at 313. Then he was supposed to fight Tafa. Tafa withdrew. Tafa just be pulling out of fights left and right. My God. I would have picked Petrino to out-grapple him and beat him. I would have picked him against Tafa. I mean, Tafa's mid. I think Mario Pinto's got the tools to do something. When I watched him on Contender, I'm like, yo, this guy's a technical specimen. And I think the second UFC appearance can be better than the first. I'm going to predict that Mario Pinto defeats Johanata Diniz. And I feel like a KO is live. I can see him clubbing Diniz with a big shot and putting him out with punches against the cage. But if need be, Pinto by decision or even ground and pound, not crazy. The odds are close, minus 121 for Pinto. He opened up his plus 190 dog. Okay. Diniz plus 101 on the opposite side. I agree with close odds here. I'm making a pick, but like the truth is, it's a competitive fight. Over a round and a half, minus 190. Because they're heavyweights, like it'd almost be a better time to just go under 1.5 at plus 165 because there could be big shots that come through early. And Diniz chin yet to be truly tested. Pinto, yes, Lane put him down, but I don't know about Diniz getting in range and dropping him. The fact that he couldn't knock Alvin Hines out, landing how many shots? I question Diniz. The fact that he couldn't put Carl away, caught him with some big punches, but couldn't, put a stamp on it. And the fact that Pinto's a big, athletic heavyweight, both guys tall, 6'4" for Diniz, 6'5" for Pinto. It's crazy when you think of Diniz, you imagine him like 6'1", but he's pretty tall at heavyweight. I just think Pinto's going to be more tactical, more well-versed, faster, more elusive, slicker, more smooth than the former pro kickboxer. And I think if it comes down to overall MMA skills, I'd favor Pinto as the guy that lands the takedowns and ends up on top and out-grapples Joe Diniz as opposed to the contrary. So I'm going Mario Pinto, the prospect, to get it done. I think he can do it in this matchup here. Pinto for the W. Next fight on the card, featured fight. We have Vicente Luque versus Yoel Alvarez. Sacrificial lamb Vicente Luque being thrown to Yoel Alvarez, making this move to welterweight. The pick is going to be Yoel Alvarez. Vicente Luque was caught in a Darce choke last fight against Kevin Holland. He was also cracked up a bit on the feet. Yoel Alvarez at lightweight was a problem, but weight cutting woes. Doesn't want to do the weight cut anymore. I don't blame him. The guy's 6'3". He's 32, right? So he's at the point where cutting all that weight off is hard. He's got a lot less damage throughout his career than a Vicente Luque. Though Vicente Luque is only a year older, think about the wars Vicente Luque's been in. I think Yoel Alvarez can pull off a win here against Vicente. I think he can hurt him on the feet with big shots. I think he can threaten him with the submission. I will say, though, be wary with the betting line because seeing Alvarez as this big of a favorite, I'm a little bit spooked because he's yet to have that performance at this weight class. Like, yes, he's destroying Drakkar Klose, Elvis Brenner, and Mark Jacasey, but he hasn't fought somebody like a Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque is deceptive in this spot. I'm not saying Vicente Luque is going to win. Like, I'm picking the side of Yoel Alvarez, but I'm just telling you, as somebody that's watched Vicente Luque's entire career, you can never fully count him out. He still is a skilled kickboxer, though he's past his prime. He still has a dangerous ground game, though Kevin Holland subbed him. But you can't just look at that and say, oh, well, definitely Alvarez. I don't understand a 5-1 line here. Is that accurate still? 550? Yoel Alvarez at this big of a favorite line is wild. Yeah, he should win, but this is his welterweight debut. He hasn't fought at welterweight in the UFC. This is the big chance at welterweight now. Moving up. Taking on an aging Luque. Listen, I'm not going to pick a Luque who had a goddamn brain bleed, who has been finished badly in some fights. Kevin Holland subbed him. Joaquin Buckley violently chinned him, and Jeff Neal violently chinned him. Wins against RDA, former lightweight, and a smaller lightweight, but was, doing fairly well in the welterweight division for a while, but was washed at the time they fought. And then Temba Garimbo. Temba Garimbo, complete bust of a prospect, but we should have probably known beforehand. The Kevin Holland loss is fine. You know what? Yeah, D-Raw did it, but D-Raw is the definition of dog. I think Yoel Alvarez is sharper with punches at this point, more dangerous with his blitzes of big hooks, more dangerous with his heavy kicks to the body, more dangerous with his submissions than this version of Luque. But I could imagine, I'm imagining prime Vicente Luque. I might be doing myself a disservice by breaking this fight down with the thought of prime Vicente Luque, but I'm thinking of prime Vicente Luque being patient, Alvarez trying to blitz, Luque countering with shots, Luque getting on top of Alvarez, surprising him. Is it crazy to me that I'm talking myself into Luque here? I don't know. I'm not going to pick Luque on a Sunday. Maybe on a Friday, we'll see the weigh-ins. I got the pick flip on the money with the Brahimaj flip towards him from the side of Vanderford from Sunday to Friday. So maybe it's one to sleep on. And I don't want to be deceptively swayed for the odds chase. But seeing Vicente Luque as this big of an underdog against Yoel Alvarez making his welterweight UFC debut, he's looked really good at lightweight, and I was excited for him in the lightweight top 15, but I don't think he has the same type of success at welterweight. Now, I could be really overreaching here, and maybe Yoel Alvarez looks like a god in the welterweight division, and maybe he's the best version of himself ever. Like we've seen certain guys move up, and they just look way better when they move up in weight. It's like, oh, he should have been doing this the whole time. Maybe that's the case here with Yoel Alvarez, but we don't know yet. It remains to be seen. He's definitely got a welterweight frame. For God's sake, he got a light heavyweight frame. 6'3" with the 77-inch reach. He got a heavyweight frame. Yoel Alvarez is a definition of freak build. I'm going to predict that Yoel Alvarez finishes Vicente. I think he can put him away. I think he might knock him out. Vicente Luque doesn't respond well to punches at this point. And Alvarez could also sub him with a Darce. Inside distance, Yoel Alvarez makes a lot of sense here. I think the likelihood of success is high. It's just gambling side on the money line, at least at minus 550, seems kind of crazy to me. Like if he was a minus 300 even, I'd be like, all right. At open, what was he? Minus 400. 3-1 odds is fair. 550, you're paying a juice price. Over a round and a half is plus 105. Listen, if Vicente Luque still got some thunder, it could go over a round and a half. Luque's a fucking plus 400 dog here. No respect for Luque. He's still winning fights. It's not like Vicente Luque hasn't won in 5 years, for God's sake. He's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Yes, Jeff Neal killed him. Yes, Buckley killed him. Yes, Kevin Holland killed him. But like all of these guys are skillful, athletic, power hitters with, I would say, some, forthcoming promise in welterweight. Maybe less with Kevin Holland. Yoel Alvarez is really good at lightweight. Moving up in weight, though. Damn, that's a red flag, man. This fight feels more and more like a red flag the more you talk about it. I will say this. Yoel Alvarez at minus 550 is troublesome for me. Though I think he has the striking ability to do it, the aggressiveness to do it, the power to do it. The first time at 170, and he's fighting a Vicente Luque who gets a chance in Brazil, too. That's another net positive for Vicente Luque. He's in Brazil. You can't sleep on Vicente in Brazil. I'm just saying the odds are not representing what this fight truly is. The disparity has you believing a false narrative that Vicente Luque has no chance to win this fight. He does have a chance to win this fight. Betting wise, if you said which money line, you're better off sprinkle betting the Luque underdog side than attacking a minus 550 or Alvarez. It doesn't make sense. If Luque can get some striking going, he can counter some blitzes of Alvarez. Vicente Luque isn't a crazy upset in a matchup like this, but Alvarez should beat him. Just looking at it from a pure analyst perspective, Alvarez should be able to win. Alvarez should be able to outstrike him. But then you think about Alvarez getting taken down. What happens? What happens if he's taken down? What if he can't get the KO? What if Luque's too strong for him, gets on top? Luque starts ripping him with punches. Attacks the legs nicely. At 6'3", you attack those long calves, you can chop a man down. It's just, can Vicente take one clean shot? That's the worry. And that's why I'm going to pick Yoel Alvarez, because Vicente Luque could get knocked out quickly here. The chin may be gone. You have to worry about that. Yeah, he had the big performance, really big performance here against Temba Garimba, but it was quick. Kevin Holland made him look bad. Kevin Holland subbed him easy, made him uncomfortable on the feet. Vicente at this point, I don't know where he's at. The guy's been in the UFC for a long time. I remember watching him on The Ultimate Fighter, ATT versus Killcliff FC. At the time, it was the Black Zillions team. That was a throwback season, my God. Been in the octagon forever. Still young at 33, but a lot of wars, man. A lot of battle-tested damage. And sometimes, when you send out the car to the fucking demolition derby time and time again, it don't always respond the same. And I think that could be the case here. So in a fight that seems like a car crash incoming, I'm going to favor the side of Yoel Alvarez to be the one that does more damage and gets the finish. I'm going to go with him. Next fight, co-main event, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. I'm going to pick Montel Jackson. Deiveson Figueiredo tore a ligament in his knee last time against Corey Sandhagen only 5 months ago. And I was doing some deep diving on the injury. And I was asking Chat GPT, like, oh, so time frame of recovery. It's, oh yeah, you could have enough time. But like for this level of fight, 5 months ago, fucks up his knee, 3-month-ish recovery, let's say 8 weeks at best, right back in camp, back to full strength by fight day. I think that Deiveson Figueiredo really wanted to fight in Brazil. He knew this could be his last chance to do so. So he accepted this spot, but you can't favor Figueiredo at this point. I mean, the Sandhagen fight was bad. The Sandhagen fight, he got out grappled. He ends up blowing his knee out. Montel Jackson's on a big win streak right now, and I feel like you have to look at his style as a tricky one for a guy who's a former flyweight. 6 fights in a row, 75.5-inch reach, 5'10". Okay? So we're looking at a 7.5-inch reach advantage, a 5-inch height advantage, being 33 to 37, not coming off of an injury 5 months ago. Okay? Montel Jackson looked good against Daniel Marcos, mixing in some grappling with some striking. He's got good hand speed. He's got some power too. He's really well-rounded. He's got a nasty front headlock position. The true athlete. He's going to have, I think, the speed advantage over this version of Figueiredo. Figueiredo still hits really hard, and if he can close that gap and land a big shot, maybe we're talking different. But it's not like Montel Jackson has chin woes. Both of his losses are decisions. Brett Johns years ago, my God, I was pissed. This is when I first started the channel. And then Ricky Simone years ago. Does Deiveson Figueiredo chop him down with calf kicks, land big shots, rock him, and then sub him? Some type of club and sub position? I just don't know what Figgy has left anymore, man. I hate this spot for Figgy because it's so soon. 5 months quitting a fight because your knee is blown out and now you're back fighting. Like, it looked like he'd be out for at least 9 months. No way it was a proper recovery. It was a rush recovery to fight in Brazil. And now they give you a guy with a tricky frame, with an awkward style, a southpaw with quick hands. Prime Deiveson Figueiredo could fucking knock Montel out. I just don't know what version of Figgy we got. It's red flags all around. I think Montel Jackson could out wrestle him. I think Montel Jackson could outwork him. I think Montel Jackson could out kickbox him from range, throw a long jab from the outside, land that straight left. Figgy caught chasing a bit, getting over aggressive. Montel and him tying up in the clinch. Montel tripping him, getting on top. Figueiredo then, retaining guard, but stuck on his back with Montel throwing a bit of ground and pound. Figgy gets back up to the feet. Montel press him against the cage. We're back to striking. Figgy's caught chasing some more. It's just such a physicality difference to overcome. And now we got a guy coming off a knee injury in Figgy. Not even, Figgy, at least he came back. He won a fight. Now he fights Montel. Knee injury Figgy, like, there's got to be an effect on the ability he darts in and out of range. Even if he's fully recovered, how is his fast twitch ability at this point? Because he's going to need to be able to close the gap quickly here with Montel Jackson. Too many red flags around it. I'm going to go with Montel Jackson to win. I think Montel can beat Deiveson on the cards. We could see Deiveson re-injure the knee. I know that's a crazy take, but the turnaround this quick and dealing with a physical specimen in Montel Jackson, I just think that's a mistake for Deiveson Figueiredo. I get it. He wants to fight in front of his people in Brazil. But does he want to lose in front of his people in Brazil? Because I think he's going to. Figueiredo plus 250. Really big underdog. Montel Jackson minus 300 here. My God. Let's see. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 160. I think Montel on the cards makes a lot of sense. I think Montel Jackson will be able to strike from range, win the grappling exchanges. Figgy does have power and he puts people down. Listen, if he connects clean, Montel could be a victim of a big shot. The last time he put anybody away, it's been a minute. Like, yeah, Cody Garbrandt, he subbed. Decision against Font. Decision against Vera. I think Montel can eat. And Montel's fast on the return fire. He's in his prime. He's on a roll. 6 wins in a row. Complete opposite momentum. Younger guy, bigger guy. I'm going Montel Jackson to beat the former flyweight champ. And definitely one of the best flyweights ever, but quick turnaround, too damn quick. I'll go Montel for the win. Not an upset, odds-wise, but as far as, Montel Jackson now breaking into the elite, definitely an upset in that type of magnitude. Let's jump to the main event. If you guys are watching and enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. So, I feel flip-floppy, all right? Initially, when this fight was booked, I was thinking Gamrot might get him. And I've sat on this fight for a minute now. We watched Alex Pereira get the win last night against Magomed Ankalaev. Really turn up and look like an animal. And the more I sat on this fight, I'm not saying it makes sense to compare the two. The more I sat on this fight, I really started asking myself questions about Gamrot. Am I picking Gamrot to win, or am I picking Charles Oliveira to lose? And the more that I talk to myself about it, yeah, I'm going nuts. I'm talking to myself. I think that's the secret to success here. The more I started saying, yo, I think I'm picking Oliveira to lose as opposed to Gamrot to win. And I don't want to do that. I'm going to pick Charles Oliveira to win. I'm going to go against the initial lean. I don't think the initial lean was right. There wasn't enough time sitting on it. It was only hours or minutes, really, because you guys asked me on live stream versus now, 2 weeks or so. The reason I like Charles Oliveira to win is because we know he's sound in grappling. Mateusz Gamrot's a good wrestler, and he has solid control with the takedowns and a good chain wrestling attack, but he doesn't do a lot of damage from top position. He doesn't have the best top game. People tend to get up. I can't mentally mix up Mateusz Gamrot with Merab. He doesn't have that level of chain wrestling. Gamrot's striking is okay. Kind of showed some power against Dan Hooker, but still, Mateusz Gamrot's hands are not the sharpest. He can get caught by shots on the feet. He got dropped by Benny Dariush. He's a relentless pressure wrestler. Charles Oliveira has dealt with this type of style. I mean, he probably should have got that decision against Arman Tsarukyan. Oliveira in a 5-rounder with Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot looking to push a wrestling pace. Charles Oliveira could catch him with big shots here. Charles Oliveira coming off the full camp. The last time Gamrot took a fight on 2 weeks' notice, I believe it was actually 10 days, nearly lost to Jalen Turner. And as much as he's been improving and he's staying in shape, I just feel this red flag and this dark cloud over Mateusz Gamrot's side, which is pushing me to the opposite end. I'm thinking Charles Oliveira can outstrike Mateusz Gamrot for sure. And he can stop Gamrot's takedowns. Sure, he could get taken down, but he definitely can bounce back up to his feet. It's not like one of those fights where it's one takedown and it's wraps. Gamrot hits a takedown. Okay, but what does he do from there? Does he keep Charles there? Okay, he wins a round. The next round starts on the feet again. He takes him down. Oliveira pops back up. Oliveira gets some striking going. But also, the flip side of it is Oliveira's pressure. Could he take down a Mateusz Gamrot? And what happens if Charles Oliveira ends up in top position? What happens if Charles Oliveira is on Mateusz Gamrot's back, if he gets a hold of his neck? I think there is the pathway to violence for Charles Oliveira. With more time of sitting on this fight, I'm saying to myself, why am I going to go Gamrot to melt him and break him and stop him late? If Gamrot's to win, it's probably a 5-round decision and he wins in a close fashion. But Charles Oliveira has the chance to finish the fight in each round, whether it's by a big shot on the feet or whether it's a submission on the ground. Can't say the same about Gamrot. Gamrot's going to have to pitch a near perfect night to beat Charles Oliveira. Could he do it? Maybe. But I know for a fact Charles Oliveira has a chance to land big shots and do damage. Mateusz Gamrot is going to be tested. His win against Ludovic Klein, how does that stack up to the Topuria fight? Complete different level. Topuria is the best lightweight in the world. Ludovic Klein is a good top 20. Lost to Dan Hooker in the fight beforehand. Charles Oliveira won against Michael Chandler. Still, that last round wasn't great, but he still was dominant throughout. Lost to Tsarukyan by a split decision. It was a fight that he had Tsarukyan in some tight submission attempts and nearly won. Tsarukyan obviously now on a roll. If he beats Dan Hooker, he's fighting for gold. RDA win there for Gamrot. Listen, respect the relentlessness. Win over Benny Dariush there quickly for Oliveira. Win over Jalen Turner by a split decision in a fight he stepped in on short notice. And then for Oliveira, the loss to Islam Makhachev. That short notice Jalen Turner fight is haunting me now looking at it. Because he nearly lost to Jalen. Jalen put it on him. Jalen was striking well with him, stopping some of the takedowns, dealing with the relentlessness. Now, obviously, Jalen Turner's 6'3" with a freaky-ass frame. Has a hard matchup for a 5'10" Gamrot. But there's still the element of that short notice that I'm thinking now he's stepping in to fight Charlie O, and now we got 5 rounds to work. Charlie O preparing for the spot. Yes, it's a different matchup. He was initially supposed to fight Fiziev, who's a kickboxer and a dangerous striker. Now it's a pressure wrestler and a guy that can do it all in Mateusz Gamrot. I don't know, man. I think Charles Oliveira could have one more hurrah. Is Gamrot that guy? Are these wins? Does that scream that guy, the guy that sends Oliveira packing and retires him? If he wins, maybe he is, but he's got to prove it. He's got a damn mountain to climb against Charlie O. At home in Brazil, the crowd against him, a short notice fight. I think Charles Oliveira can pull it off here. I feel like Charlie O could have one more spectacular performance. He could catch Gamrot in a tight submission. He could catch Gamrot with a really big punch. He could win a 5-round back and forth fight. Oliveira is going to have the strike speed advantage. He's going to have the punch power advantage too. He's going to have the better jiu-jitsu. Gamrot is going to have the better chain wrestling. But what's the other advantage? Is it cardio? Does he have a cardio advantage? I don't know. I don't think Gamrot's knocking him out. I don't think Gamrot's submitting him. So Gamrot's got to win a decision. I think Oliveira could win by finish here. I'm going to predict that Charles Oliveira pulls it off. This fight has been a warfare of back and forth thought for me. But I've landed on the Charlie O side. And I'm going to say at home in Rio, good things happen. Charles Oliveira pulls off the victory in Brazil in front of the Brazilian people. The homecoming fight is a success. And he takes out the short notice fill-in and the surging Mateusz Gamrot. Odds for the fight. Charlie O is plus 100. At home in Brazil, plus 100. Shit, they might give him a robbery decision if it's close. Minus 120 for Gamrot. I'm going Charlie O. Over 3.5 rounds, minus 110. Maybe. Oliveira could finish. Oliveira could catch Gamrot. If you look at Gamrot's career, obviously never been finished before. But he's also never fought Charles Oliveira in a 5-round main event. I'm going to say Charles Oliveira's got one more. I know the Topuria fight was bad. But you know what? He took a quick knockout loss. You could say, oh, the chin's going to be gone. But Gamrot doesn't have that type of power. Gamrot's not a Topuria on the feet. If Gamrot hits him and puts him out, then we know, okay, Charlie O's chin's gone. He should have never took this fight. It is what it is. But if we have a Charles Oliveira that's performing near peak abilities, I think he can get past the short notice Mateusz Gamrot test. And I'm going to pick Charlie O to get the hand raised in the main event for UFC Rio. I got to go with the call that I feel in my mind, body, and soul, and that calls Charles Oliveira. Guys, let me know in the comments if you agree with the picks. I think this is a wild-ass card, and I think there's going to be some interesting results come Saturday. I'm excited as hell for the fight companion for it. What's your main event pick? You going Charlie O? Or are you guys going Gamrot? What's the side? What's the A side of the people? You guys think Davis and Figueiredo upsets Montel Jackson? Why not? Montel got him. You think Pinto's knocking out Diniz? I hope so. Think Vicente Luque shocks you Alvarez? Yeah, it's a stretch and a half. Alvarez probably gets him. I want to hear from the people. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on my predictions, and definitely drop yours. We'll see where it all lines up. I'm looking forward to this card. I think there's a lot of crazy-ass fights. Like this card's all over the place, man. This was probably the toughest card for me to predict in several months. But you know what? Good things come through tough times. And I look forward to this Saturday. I love you guys. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Turn the post notifications on too. And if you really enjoyed the video, make sure to share it. If you have nothing to say in the comments, this is a W to boost the algorithm for your boy. Thank you guys all for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one. Much love. Peace out.